Captain, before we step onto this movement and result island, tell me, what does bring make you feel when it means to carry something or someone here, to cause a result or condition, and to make someone reach a state, action, or feeling? Meaning 1, to carry or take something or someone to a place. Used when a person moves something toward where another person is or toward a chosen destination. Example: please bring the map to the captain's table before sunset. Common use: bring a bag, bring someone home, bring it here. Bring the map. Meaning 2, to cause a result, condition, or change. Used when one thing leads to another or creates an effect. Example: heavy rain can bring flooding to the lower roads. Common use: bring trouble, bring peace, bring change. Brings big change. Meaning 3, to make someone reach a state, action, or feeling. Used when something causes a person to feel, think, or do something. Example: the old song always brings a smile to her face. Common use: bring joy, bring someone to tears, bring to life. Bring a smile. Bring often means carrying something toward a place, but it is also very common for cause and effect. It can describe weather bringing trouble, news bringing hope, or music bringing back emotion. Carry, create, and awaken with care, Captain. Hold bring for what moves into our hands, for the changes that arrive because of larger forces, and for the feelings and actions that rise when something touches the heart as we sail to the next island. Captain, before we step onto this shore and motion island, tell me, what does coast make you feel when it means the land beside the sea, the act of moving smoothly without much effort, and the action of traveling along the edge of the sea? Meaning 1, the land beside the sea. Used for the area where land meets the ocean. Example: the fishing village stood along the rocky coast. Common use: west coast, coast road, along the coast. Coastline. Meaning 2, to move smoothly without much effort or power. Used when a vehicle or person continues moving easily after the main effort stops. Example: the boat began to coast gently after the engine was turned off. Common use: coast downhill, coast along, coast to a stop. Coast in silence. Meaning 3, to travel along the edge of the sea. Used when a ship, car, or traveler moves beside the shoreline. Example: they coasted northward, keeping the islands in view. Common use: coast south, coast past, coast along the shore. Coast the shore. Coast can be a noun or a verb. As a noun, it most often means the land beside the sea. As a verb, it can mean moving forward easily with little effort, or traveling along the shoreline. Follow the edge where land and sea meet, Captain. Carry coast for the shore that shapes the horizon, for the smooth motion that needs little force, and for the journey that stays close to the water's line as we sail to the next island. Captain, before we step onto this route and signal island, tell me, what does channel make you feel when it means a narrow area of water, a way for messages or signals to travel, and a method of directing effort or energy into a particular purpose? Meaning 1. A narrow area of water between lands or inside a route, used for a stretch of water that ships or boats pass through. Example: the captain guided the boat carefully through the narrow channel. Common use: shipping channel, narrow channel, channel marker. Channel ahead. Meaning 2. A path or system through which messages, sound, images, or signals travel, used for television, radio, online media, or communication systems. Example: they switched to the emergency channel to hear the warning clearly. Common use: news channel, radio channel, communication channel. Channel 7 Live. Meaning 3. To direct effort, feeling, or energy into a specific purpose. Used when someone turns attention, emotion, or power toward one goal. Example: she learned to channel her anger into hard work at sea. Common use: channel energy, channel emotion, channel effort. Channel your energy. Channel can be a noun or a verb. As a noun, it often means a narrow water route or a system for communication, such as a radio or news channel. As a verb, it means directing energy, emotion, or effort into a chosen path. Follow the right route with intention, Captain. Carry channel for the narrow water path that guides safe movement, for the signal line that carries voices across distance, and for the steady direction that turns raw energy into purpose as we sail to the next island. Captain, before we step onto this cluster and group island, tell me, what does bunch make you feel when it means a number of things tied or growing together, an informal group of people or things, and a collection gathered closely in one place? Meaning 1. A number of things tied or growing together, used for flowers, grapes, keys, or similar things held together as one group. Example: she placed a bunch of wildflowers on the cabin table. Common use: bunch of flowers, bunch of grapes, bunch of keys. Bunch of flowers. Meaning 2. An informal group of people or things. Used in everyday speech for several people or items spoken of casually. Example: a cheerful bunch of sailors filled the harbor cafe with laughter. Common use: a bunch of friends, a bunch of questions, a bunch of ideas. Bunch of friends. Meaning 3. A collection gathered closely in one place. Used when things are grouped tightly together instead of being spread out. Example: the ropes lay in a bunch near the mast after the storm. Common use: gathered in a bunch, bunched together. Rope in a bunch. Bunch of ropes. Bunch most commonly means several things grouped together, especially flowers, grapes, or keys. In informal everyday English, it can also mean a casual group of people or things. It may also describe objects gathered closely in one place. Notice what gathers naturally, Captain. Carry bunch for the things tied or growing together, for the friendly group that shares a moment, and for the close cluster that waits to be sorted and understood as we sail to the next island. Captain, before we step onto this edge and limit island, tell me, what does boundary make you feel when it means a line that marks where one area ends, a limit that controls what is allowed or possible, and a personal line that protects someone's space, rights, or feelings? Meaning 1. A line or edge that marks where one area ends and another begins. Used for borders, limits of land, fields, regions, or spaces. Example: the old stones marked the boundary between the two farms. Common use: boundary line, property boundary, cross the boundary. Boundary line. Meaning 2. A limit that defines what is allowed, possible, or acceptable. Used for rules, ranges, or edges that should not be passed. Example: the storm pushed the crew to the boundary of what the boat could handle. Common use: set a boundary, within boundaries, beyond the boundary. Boundary of safety. Meaning 3. A personal line that protects someone's space, feelings, or rights. Used when people define how others may treat them or how close others may come. Example: she calmly explained her boundary when the questions became too personal. Common use: personal boundary. Respect boundaries. Healthy boundaries. Respect boundary. Boundary often means a physical dividing line, but it is also very common for limits in rules, safety, behavior, or possibility. In personal and emotional contexts, it refers to the lines people set to protect their space, rights, and well-being. Know where the edge protects the whole, Captain. Carry boundary for the line that divides one place from another, for the limit that keeps risk and order in balance, and for the personal space that deserves clear respect as we sail to the next island.